Welcome to Foam Forge, where today I'm going to craft my very own Venom mask. Now, Venom, for anyone who isn't familiar with the character, is a major Spider-Man villain, an alien symbiotic goo creature from space that has made appearances from comics to video games and movies. There are tons of looks that Venom has had over the years, showcased in all of these different kinds of media. So today I'm going to take a few artistic liberties with how I design his actual finished look.
Hey Parker. My God.
Now, the idea behind Foam Forge is to help you create cosplay pieces that don't break the bank and still look awesome. I try to source all of my material from the dollar store as much as possible to keep the cost of the cosplay down, as any cosplayer at one time or
Put out the
another
inside
has
of the
had
eyes
happen
too,
to
so
them,
that you're left
and they
with a
can
frame
all
of
play
the
the
eye.
same thing.
Once you have
will
that,
run
you can
your
paint them
wallet
black.
dry, trying to get that perfect look. The initial startup for this project today should run you somewhere between $12 and $20 for the mask. Now, that does depend, of course, if you want to stray and use different materials, but again, I try and use everything I can from the dollar store to keep that initial cost as low down as possible. For the materials I used in this project, I simply used foam board, Bristol board, scissors and a box cutter, craft glue and newspapers for the paper mache, white fabric mesh, craft paint and hot glue, although you could use spray paint if you wish, and caulking glue as well. Now, originally for the teeth, I intended to use clay, just for the fangs and teeth area, which gives you a better chance to sculpt in something a bit more realistic. Now, I did mess up here and bought the wrong kind of clay, so it wasn't able to actually dry by air and stayed squishy. So instead for this project, I swapped over to foam board to craft for the teeth, but you can use either material, whichever you wish. For masks like this one, I've always liked using a model to sit for a casting of their head, someone obviously that has a similar sized head as your own. Just using a plastic bag to wrap around the top half of their head, above the nostrils of course, because you don't want to suffocate them, that's dangerous. I shouldn't have to say that, but I will. Then I spend the next portion of this step laying down many layers of paper mache to get the general shape and form of the head. Now, after some quick drying with a hair dryer, you can pull it off your model's head and start laying down more paper mache. Now, normally in the past, I would have just ignored some facial details in the initial sculpting of the mask, but I wanted to take some more time and develop some facial muscles and details to pop from the rest of the mask. So I rolled out and balled up some soaked bits of paper that would be placed onto the mask to make up the lips, the eyebrows, etc. And then more paper mache would be placed over it to seal it down. Once everything has had a chance to dry and harden, I've mapped out the location of the mouth and face that will need to be trimmed out. Now at this point in the project, I started using some cheap tubes of caulking glue from the dollar store. I split the tubes open carefully and spilled out some of the glue onto a palette that I could then brush over the mask until it looked like a cross between Mrs. Doubtfire and a Ninja Turtle. A couple of tubes I found was more than enough to coat the entire mask at least twice, allowing enough to be used to sculpt into some small details on the face. This stuff takes a little while to properly seal and dry, so I let it sit out overnight and in the next morning began painting. Once the paint dries, you can glue in some white mesh fabric for the eyes and call it a day. Please share and subscribe to Foam Forge, keep up with all of our videos, turn on your notifications, all that stuff. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. If you have any suggestions for future episodes of Foam Forge that you would like to see, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching.